So if you don't want to buy the machine, or can you do it? You threw it. For those that are watching this on video, you're seeing that she has her hands. How do you do it? How do you
So
actually?
I've got a great blog on metimebotanicals.com that walks you through a couple of different facial massage, but just be intuitive, always going upward, outward motions because you want to lift those muscles.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's show. And yes, I am bringing you more goodness than you would ever expect on this Thursday. Why am I saying this? Because today you are going to get the ABCs, the 101 to 201 in all things botanical beauty wise. We're going to talk about the ins and outs of what you need to know when you are selecting product lines. And we're even going to go all the way into, yeah, you're hearing me right. We're going to talk about deodorant, that deodorant that you're putting in the pits. We're going to discuss what you should and shouldn't be doing around that. And I've got a lot to ask. So today I am super, super excited to introduce you all to Kara Reich. She is the founder and CEO of Me Time Botanicals. She shares how she actually transitioned from surviving physically abusive marriage into boosting other women's confidence through a simplified multitasking skincare routine. You heard me right. We're going to go there with an abusive marriage and how she came through it and now helps women with the skincare routine to actually heal what's ever going on, not only on the outside with this incredible beauty line, but also on the inside. So how good does that sound? Listen, I'm so excited. Kara, thank you for being here today and for what you're going to be sharing and educating us on in so many different ways.
I'm so glad you're having me on the show. I cannot wait to share with you my journey and walk you through exactly where I came and where I'm going and where I hope to be able to inspire other women.
Well, there's no doubt that you will do that. And I know that so many women these days, especially, we're trying to figure out, how do we take care of ourselves? How do we not put poisons into our body? And I am really interested in getting you have this top 10 things that, kind of the myth busters of what we think we know. So super excited to discuss some of those as well. But let's talk a little bit just to set the stage here of how you got into the skincare beauty business, because it started out not exactly what you were hoping for in your life and your marriage. So can we go back and talk about your relaunch and how you've gotten from there to here?
Absolutely. So, kind of my whole journey through life has always been putting other people first and forgetting that I cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mm.
And I was in a physically abusive, emotionally abusive marriage from the love of my life. And realizing through that journey, um, I wasn't in a safe space. I wasn't in a good space mentally and physically, and I was not putting myself first. I poured everything else into everyone and forgetting that I could not function as a human being, and I lost myself. I lost my soul. And finally realizing that I needed to put my own mental health first and my own sanity and safety first, that I did the most difficult thing I ever had to do, was basically all boils down to knowing and acting on the fact that I had to love me more and I had to love my health more, and my self-care was lacking. And
Before we go into that part of it, though, you said that this is ex-husband,
yes,
that you mentioned that it was the love of your life.
yes.
So how long were you guys together?
We were together, I would say about 7 years, and the abuse and physical abuse and mental abuse basically started from, oh, maybe 6 months in.
So
But
it's really go ahead.
but still the love of it was this intoxicating love that was a roller coaster. It was when it was great, it was amazing. When it was bad, it was horrible. And that roller coaster sent me on this wild ride, and trying to get off that roller coaster was the most difficult thing.
And so you said that he didn't actually become violent for about 6 months into the marriage.
That's right.
And was there something that happened that caused him to change?
Um, no, I think it was just more of people get comfortable, people get complacent and start showing their true colors, and I think that's where more of that came around.
And how long did you date before you got married?
I knew him pretty much my whole life.
No way.
Yeah,
So then which I think is even harder, right? Because you've known
right.
him forever. And then this behavior starts both physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
And so you finally, you said you decided that, you had to have knowing and acting. You knew something, that this wasn't, as you said, the good times were great, but then it just became so bad. Was there a point where you literally you just said to yourself, I can't take this anymore?
Absolutely. Every time something traumatic would happen, I would pack my bags, try to walk out the door. And in my head, I was coaching myself, Kara, just walk out the door. You'll be better in the long run. Kara, just you've got to get out the door. And essentially, he would talk me into staying before I was able to get out of the door. So I would stay another 6 months, 4 months, 3 months until the next event. And then we would start that vicious cycle all over again. But finally, it wasn't it was a series of events that finally led me to realize that for my own safety and my own well-being, I had to finally take the leap and be brave. And even though I loved him, I knew that my health and my mental health needed to come first.
And Kara, did you ever confide in somebody?
No, not really. That's not something that you talk about while it's happening. It's so easy to just put on the good show for someone, right? So they don't know exactly what's all going on, but then afterwards, that's when you can really open up and tell your story, and hopefully that other women that are in the exact same situation can realize, okay, if this woman walked away from the love of her life, even though he was abusive and mentally abusive and physically abusive, I can do the same. You just have to be brave and do it scared.
And how long ago did you walk away from this marriage?
2015.
Okay. So it's been about a little over 7 years now.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
and so are you surprised now as you tell your story? Are people coming out and sharing their stories with you? And are
Absolutely.
you surprised at how many people are in these types of toxic relationships?
Actually, I'm not surprised by how many people are in these toxic relationships because I think they're so easy to get wrapped up in, and they're so difficult to get out of. And I think women, once they know that they're in a safe space, they can talk and they can open up and share their experiences and their feelings. And I think that is I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring in something that would give women a chance to really pour something into themselves instead of pouring it out for others. And that's really kind of how me time came about.
So let's talk about this, that you ended up leaving this toxic relationship, and what were you doing at that point in terms of a career and in terms of what your work was?
Yeah, well, actually, actually, I was in accounting and finance, and working in a very high stressing job where I would work 70 hours a week on top of going through this emotional roller coaster that I was going through. And I was able to more or less pour myself into my work as I was transitioning out of this relationship. And during all of this time, I would find different ways to self care because my job was very stressful. Through the stressful position I had on top of the marriage, my skin was broken out. I was getting massive headaches. I just wasn't healthy. And through that, I began to do yoga, and I began to just play around with different masks and hair masks and body treatments and all the fun things that make you feel good and make you feel beautiful, because at that time I was a broken shell of a
Mhm.
woman,
Mm.
and I needed something that would heal my soul and heal myself as I was going through that process. And yoga was my safe space. I would cry and cry on my mat just
Mhm.
because I was able to really release that tension and release that stress and begin to heal. And as I was playing around with different skincare products that I was creating,
Mhm.
because it was just an outlet for myself.
So
That began
that's really interesting. So as you're crying, what kind of yoga were you doing?
um, um, any type of yoga. I love restorative yoga. I love yin yoga because the type A women that can't stop moving and love to be doing this, that, and the other, they need yin yoga because that's where you learn to pause and to really peel back the onion, peel back the layers.
That is,
Hmm.
I'm glad that we talked about that, because I think a lot of times people hear yoga and then they get right into that, like the core yoga, and you're sweating and you're moving and that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about that, that very meditative type of yoga where you have to start to like pause and figure it out. But now what you said was really interesting. You're starting to create, because who doesn't love like a good mask, right? I agree with you. You put that on and it's like, it just makes you feel like you're doing something good for yourself, no doubt. But you started to actually take it one step further and started to make up your own concoctions. So
Yes.
instead of a cook in a kitchen, you were like, okay, I'm not going to eat this stuff. I'm going to put it all over my body. And so
Exactly.
how did you just like start to think about, okay, what if I mix these two things together?
Well, kind of like you mentioned, what it's what a chef does, right? They open up their pantry, they open up their refrigerator, and they see all these wonderful ingredients, and they come up with these delicious nutrient meals, right? That we all pay wonderful dollars for to enjoy these beautiful plated meals. Well, it's the same thing in skincare when you're using gorgeous botanicals that are in your refrigerator or in your pantry. You're able to whip up these beautiful things. It was very intuitive for me to be able to decide what ingredients I would want to put in. It's almost like cooking, right? What would be great for your inside would be great on your skin. And I started playing around. And as I was playing around with masks and body treatments, one, they made me feel so amazing and relaxed. And it gave me me time. It gave me time for myself. And through that, my skin began to heal. So I realized, I'm onto something. And how many women are, at the end of the day, they're exhausted. They are, from their day. They don't want this complicated skincare routine. And if they're pouring themselves into everyone else, they need a few minutes of me time to recharge. And that's kind of how me time came about.
How much do we love the me time? That is so, so good. And I do think that I know there's a whole lot of statistics out there around beauty products, around negative, like these horribly toxic, you talk about ingredients that are put in there. You really wanted to focus on that really, as you called it, a what did you say, botanical, or how did you,
Well, they're bioavailable ingredients
yeah?
that are all plant forward, plant based that I use to formulate skincare.
So how do you keep them if they're all natural, just like things, get bad in the fridge? How do you make sure that, you can't use the whole product in 1 week?
Right.
You want it to stay on the shelf a little bit, but how do you make sure that it's not gonna, get moldy and start to smell really, really, really bad?
Absolutely. So I went to an organic cosmetic science school to learn how to formulate and work with natural ingredients to be able to preserve them naturally. It's just like you're adjusting the pH. You're using specific ingredients that will naturally preserve product. And actually, all of my products can sit on a shelf for a year without it ever growing anything crazy that you would not want to put on your skin. So
That's
that
amazing.
that's the great part.
Because
Yeah,
even if I look at the products, some of the products I have, it's, get rid of them in 6 months, which, for so many of us, I mean, honestly, how often are we really cleaning out our drawers and throwing things away? I mean, until it starts to, literally look like, oh, wait, it's getting hard. It's not good to be putting this on your face anymore. But I love the idea that your products allow you to be able to use them. You have written a lot on the topic of beauty products and me time. What do you think is your, kind of the biggest misnomer out there right now that women are doing with their products?
well, I think the biggest thing is that women think they need this complicated of expensive skincare routine to really get results, and that is just not true.
So yeah, so you think about women, especially, in the mid zone, and we, all have kind of the same concerns. We've got forget about some of the fine lines. They're starting to get a little bit deeper, and the crepey skin and the droopy skin. And there's a lot of products out there. They always say like, retina, is one of the best things. I find I can't use it because it just dries the heck out of my face. And so, how do you use these natural products, and can you get actual benefit from a natural product to reduce lines and to reduce the crepiness?
Well, it's just like would you expect to eat a salad and your body to feel better or a cheeseburger,
It's a good point.
right?
It's a good
So
point. Yeah.
there are many plant-based alternatives to retinol that actually do help firm and stimulate collagen production and increase cellular turnover to help give your skin this to transform from this dull, dry skin to this plump and glowiness where you feel confident enough to even go without makeup.
Oh, okay. We have to take a quick break. But when we get back, I really want to hit some of these other myths that people are really living by, buying beauty products, and they're spending money on things that are actually detrimental to their face and their inside. So when we come back, we're going to get into all of these things that you have to know if you are putting anything on your skin.
You are clear.
Right on. So that was super. See how
Right.
like it just goes so fast. So now what I want to do is really go back and hit these products, this, can they really decrease the lines? Do they really work? Right. Cause that's the thing. We've been
Right.
so we're going to talk about that. And then you have your top 10, right?
Yep. So top 10 being,
The myths and things that I saw on your website, the things
yeah, let
that,
me grab that. Yep.
so that at least we can, I like, and then what else do you love sharing in this story? I know that the 10 things that we're going to be talking about, that's awesome. But is there anything else that I should be asking you? And I have your list here too.
Let's see. So let's talk about simplifying a
Mhm.
skincare routine
Mhm.
and like what like what what basically how for a middle-aged woman,
Mhm.
what three products do you really think that
Great.
she needs?
Great.
I would do that, and then let's talk about myths. Let me go to the blog and see which blog post you want to
And then
look.
I want to talk, and we'll get through there, and then we'll talk. The last segment is kind of like, what else, any other things that come up. We'll just keep it going.
Yeah, we could talk about like
Coming back.
five. Well,
You are listening to the Relaunch with Hilary to Caesar. Have a question for Hilary or her guest today? Join us on the show at 888-346-9141. That's 888-346-9141. We'd love to hear from you. Now, back to the show. Here again is your host, Hilary to Caesar.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are talking all things skin, and we're going to start talking about what we can actually do to reduce the wrinkles and the crepiness and all that stuff that's not good stuff. We want it gone, but there's a better, healthier, more natural approach that gets even better results than all of the chemical products out there. So I have my guest, Kara Reich. I love that. I think I nailed it. And I am so excited to be talking to her. This segment is going to be fast and furious to make sure that we all know what we need to know in order to buy the best products for our face that are really going to impact not only the outside, but the inside as well. So welcome back. And Carol, we were starting to talk about products. And my big question was, do they really work? Right? Do these products really do as much as the chemical products that are out there that are not good for us, but sometimes we get the good results. So how do you feel about that?
yep, so I would say let's kind of switch up the narrative a little about what you're looking in the mirror, right? Yes, we might see fine lines. We might see, a little bit of a crepiness. We might see some hyperpigmentation, but we need to focus on how we're speaking to ourselves first and foremost. First and foremost, because it doesn't matter what you're slathering on your skin. If your mental narrative is not where it needs to be, you're never going to feel beautiful no matter what you look like in the mirror.
The mental narrative is so important. And we often talk about women that have a tough time going from self-sabotage. I really, I'm not happy inside. And then trying to jump over to, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. It's to so many. And I know for myself, when I was trying to do that years ago, it was virtually impossible. So I had to start with going from, I'm not happy with myself to, hey, let's just like first, right?
Absolutely.
We're not going to go to love all the way. Let's just like. And I started with, very, very, so, hey, I like my hair. I like what else? Okay. I like my lashes. And I just started to pull things out. And as you're saying with, this mental narrative, you can't expect products just to work on the outside unless you're feeling better about yourself. And I've had people literally go through our relaunch program, and they've done nothing except go through the program, and people have said, you look younger. My God, what's going on? Are you in love? Like, what's happening? And the answer is, yeah, I am. Self-love, baby. That's what makes me look so good. So that you have to. But then again, I'm going to keep going back. You obviously have tested products against each other.
Yes.
And have you found in your research that you can get the same type of results?
That's 100% not skating around the fact that you have to self-care first to really get products to work, because that's not true. But so I would say there is a plant-based alternative to retinol called moth bean. And there are multiple studies out there that show moth bean is this
Yeah,
beautiful.
why are natural product names so weird? I mean,
Well,
think about that. Moth bean.
moth bean. It's a bean. It's a
Yeah,
legume.
I
That's
love it. I love that. But it's just, they're always like, the toad of the rat or so. It's like the weirdest names. And you're like, huh? Like, who named these all natural, organic? And it's just funny. Okay. So moth
exactly.
bean.
Yeah, so moth bean is this magical plant alternative to retinol. It stimulates collagen production, it increases cellular turnover, it helps with acneic skin as well. So it's this wonderful ingredient that adapts to exactly what your skin needs. And I use moth bean in our number one product called Glow Getter. And Glow Getter is this gorgeous serum in lightweight moisturizer all in one. And you
Is that what you spritzed on your face when
that's
we first
exactly
started?
what I spritzed on, and you saw that my skin just instantly glowed.
It was incredible. I'm going to be getting the Glow Getter, because that was like, I saw you go, literally. You're like, oh, okay, just, a little bit of this. And I'm like, whoa, so great. Okay. So
uh,
you actually put moth bean in this product, and how
yep.
often are you spritzing it on?
Yep. So Glow Getter can be used twice a day, morning and night. Now, with retinol, ladies, you do not want to use a retinol product, real retinol. Like retinol is a gold standard in skincare. It does amazing things to the skin. It helps, increase cellular turnover, helps with acne, it helps with wrinkles. It does all the things. However, it can be very um, challenging for people with sensitive skin, because it can cause dryness and cause flakiness, and it's sun sensitive, so you can't use it out in the sun. So
Mhm.
Glow Getter is one of the products that has an abundance of vitamin C from kookadoo plum and licorice extract and rose hip and grapeseed oil and all of these wonderful ingredients that help um, that are sun protective. They're antioxidants, so they feed your skin,
Mm.
just like eating this delicious smoothie bowl for your body. You're basically putting all of these ingredients on your skin, so you're feeding your skin from the inside out. So that you always want to look for products that have an abundance of vitamin C for antioxidant purposes as well.
So let's talk about some of these myths out there that you have really done a great job trying to make sure that you offer products that would, common sense, right? What we think, and we're like, oh, it just makes sense, but yet it's the opposite. So let's talk about some of these that you have identified and the solution around them.
Absolutely. So you always want to cleanse your skin before you go to bed. And I highly recommend an oil cleanser. Now, I know that sounds scary. You're slathering an oil on your face to cleanse, but it works every time, because like attracts like. So when you're using an oil-based cleanser like Clean Slate, which is this amazing oily, buttery cleanser that melts away makeup, it really helps to um, dig deep into the pores to be able to pull excess oils and dirt and debris out of the skin, but it's not stripping your skin, which is another myth. People think that
Wait,
they need.
before you move on, I want to ask you this. So if if we don't have oily skin right now, okay, let's just say we're getting, we're in our, early 50s, would oil be still okay? Or if like attracts like, do I really want to be giving up any of that oil in my skin right now?
Yep. So An oil-based cleanser is non-stripping. So you're not stripping your microbiome. So when you are 40 and 50 and 60 and 80 years old and your skin is less spry and happy and drier, you want to feed it the natural oil. So what that's doing is helping to whisk away dirt and debris that's clinging to those oils, and it removes it, but it's not stripping your microbiome. So your skin will be softer and glowier and healthier when you're cleansing with an oil-based cleanser.
So I have to ask you this. So years ago, I was in a hotel and I forgot my entire bag of, products that I use. And so I was with a friend and we were staying in the same room, and she said, "You're not going to believe this. I forgot mine too." Like we both forgot. Like it was the craziest. And she said, "Hey, we should just call down and have them bring us up olive oil." And I thought, olive oil, well, that's really amazing. Like that's what we're going to use. And so we put it all over our face, and then we wiped it off. And then we put a little bit more as the moisturizer and went to bed. I have to tell you, my skin in the morning was so like supple and moist and all that good stuff. I've never done it since, but like, is that legit?
Well, you're reducing transepidermal water loss at night whenever you're using an oil. So Clean Slate, which is a 3-in-1 product. It's your makeup remover, it's your overnight moisturizer, it's your cleanser. So Clean Slate is this gorgeous, lovely balm that, again, when you're cleansing your skin with an oil, you're feeding it what it needs, and then you're taking away what it doesn't need. And it's very adaptable for your skin, especially the ingredients that I'm using, because I love using grapeseed oil and rosehip seed oil. Olive oil I feel like is a little too heavy for an everyday use for all skin types.
It's interesting that you just said grapeseed is, I just recently moved to Boulder, Colorado, and I came from California, and it is dry. I mean,
Yep.
I cannot put enough stuff on my face. It just sucks it in. And I was told to put grapeseed oil in my lotion as I'm, kind of putting lotion all over my body.
Mhm.
It has made such a difference. It's incredible. And you actually put that right into your products.
That's right.
Mm.
And talking about being dry, you cannot forget to hydrate your skin. So there's a difference, right? People think that hydrating and moisturizing is the same. It's not. Hydrating your skin is delivering water soluble ingredients into your skin, and then you want to lock that hydration in with a moisturizer or a facial oil, because that's the way to trap in that hydration, because we want our skin cells to look like grapes, not like raisins.
Wow, that is really interesting. So, as we keep going, I know we're going to talk about, simplifying as soon as we're done with, but I'd like to talk more about some of these myths again, because they're fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. So another one is under eye patches. We all, as we get older, we sleep less because we have more stress in our life. We get, crepey lines and wrinkles underneath the eye. And people go around with these like crazy under eye patches on. You don't need those. That is something that the skincare industry has dreamed up to try
Kara,
to get you to
I'm
buy more.
laughing right now. I'm in a hotel room and I have those in my bag. I did not use them this morning, but as you're saying that, I'm like, oh, I have those. But you're saying, we do not need those. What do we need then? If you
Well,
wake up and you're like, oh.
Well, you just need a good product that's going to help hydrate the under eye and depuff the under eye. The
Mm.
eye patches, the under eye patches, yes, they can work, but if you have just a couple of simple products, you just slather that on underneath the eye. and you're fine. So again, you want to look for an eye cream that is hydrating and moisturizing at the same time. You want to look for ingredients that have coffee or ginseng or cucumber, because all of those will help depuff the under eye, brighten up dark circles, and help with crepey
Okay,
fine
so
lines.
that's why you always see cucumbers on the
That's
eyes,
right. That's right. Yep, because
because
cucumber,
it has something in it that helps to depuff.
that's correct. There's a couple of different
Yes.
properties that help to soothe and depuff the under eye.
That's amazing. Okay, so give us another one of these
Yep.
now.
So more on that. So you would take a little bit of an eye cream and then
Mhm.
take that little bit of clean slate and just pat underneath the eye. And that's exactly what your under eye patches are doing. But then you don't have to throw away your eye patch.
Okay, so I can still use it, but I should get a better product to be using every day.
You
Got
got it. You got
Okay.
it. Another thing you should throw away, makeup wipes. Don't use makeup wipes. Because have you ever you see a makeup wipe that has ingredients on it, but the problem is a lot of times you're just shoving all of that dirt, debris, and makeup deeper into the pore. You're not really removing anything using a makeup wipe.
That's really interesting because they seem so convenient,
They're very convenient. However,
but they're not really doing the job.
right, think again, like, how convenient is fast food?
Mm,
And what is it really doing to your body?
That's a very good point. Okay, so give us another.
Yep, sheet masks. Sheet masks, they look all bougie, right? This they're this cotton that is filled with all of these serums, right? And then you put them on and you feel so glorious and magical.
Yeah.
And then you take that sheet mask and you throw it away.
Yeah.
All you need is a good hydrating facial mist and a serum and your moisturizer, and that's really all you need, ladies.
So you're saying stop wasting all this money on these excess products and just get to the foundation right now and get the best products to start with.
You got it. And now here's one thing that I would say is Botox and fillers, they're everywhere. Everyone gets Botox, everyone gets fillers, but you know what works just as good? A facial massage.
Ooh, tell us about that.
A daily facial massage to stimulate your muscles. It's just like going to the gym, right? You're lifting weights, you're pumping your muscles to get them firmer and firmer and firmer. That's what a facial massage does to your face. It helps to contour the face, lift the face. It stimulates blood flow, which stimulates collagen production. So a good facial massage, something you can even get a device that has microcurrent and red light therapy, and that stimulates collagen production, increases elasticity, as well as increases cellular turnover. So you always get this dewy, glowy, lifted, contoured look without Botox and fillers.
So if you don't want to buy the machine, or can you do it? You threw it. For those that are watching this on video, you're seeing that she has her hands. How do you do it? How do you actually?
I've got a great blog on metimebotanicals.com that walks you through a couple of different facial massage, but just be intuitive, always going upward, outward motions, because you want to lift those muscles. And it's just, just simple little movements that
And
you're doing.
how long should you be doing this?
Use it as your me time. 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the evening, a few times a week is just like going to the spa.
Okay, so we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, there are a couple questions that I have wanted to talk to you about. I've been thinking about it. And for everyone out there, you're not going to want to miss these questions. You know how I love to give you all the goods. You're going to get the goods when we come back. This episode is brought to you by my very own labor of love, my most recent book, Relaunch. This book is a collection of my stories, other stories, and is a motivational guide to living a new 3HQ lifestyle, sparking your heart to ignite your life. It's available for purchase via Amazon. Get ready to try on the 3HQ method that I've been using for years throughout my entire life. reaching the next level in all areas, both professionally and personally. Get your copy today at www.therelaunchbook.com. Hey everyone, welcome back. We are talking all things skin, and the last bit you got to go back and listen to because she's giving all these amazing, what we think is true is not true when it has to do with the products we're putting on our face. But right now, what we're talking about is this massage. And you're saying 3 to 4 minutes, Kara, is all you really need. Just give yourself, go upwards and massage it out. Are there also exercises that you can do for your face besides just massage?
Well, I am sure you can look up all sorts of different facial yoga, because think about whenever we're exercising our muscles, we are contouring them, we're toning them, we're tightening them. That's the exact same thing as different facial massages and different facial exercises. Now, I am not gifted enough to talk about all the different facial massages, but facial exercises. But I know that anything that you're doing to really contour
Yeah.
and shaping and stimulate that muscle is what is very important to help lift and tone and tighten.
What about those jade rollers? Or now they're coming in all these different colors and rose quartz and different things. Do those actually work?
Well, they do a great job at depuffing the skin,
Mm.
but they're almost like a rolling pin, right? Like a rolling pin that you would roll out dough. You're rolling the muscle, you're rolling the skin, rolling the fascia. That's great to depuff. I don't really think they're doing too much to really lift and contour the muscle.
Got it. Okay, so let's talk about one more myth that you really think is, people are leaning into and it's not good for them.
Yep, a lot of women think that natural deodorants do not work. So they continue to reach for mainstream deodorants that have aluminum in it that actually block you from sweating. When did we decide that sweating was a bad thing? Sweating helps to decrease toxins in your body. It's a natural thing that your body does. And why would we want to stop something that your body naturally does? It does it for a reason. And when we're blocking sweating underneath our armpits from aluminum, that's actually not great for your body. And natural deodorants do work. You just have to find exactly what works for
So it
you.
is interesting because years ago, I've always been like, especially when I was younger in my 20s and 30s. I mean, I was the one who definitely sweat I remember silk blouses were all the rage. And I'd be like, oh God, that's like the worst thing. And so I started using like certain dry at night. And what I found though is that my underarms were just getting all like red and rashy. So I went on this huge quest and I heard that aluminum was associated with Alzheimer's, and my grandfather had just passed from Alzheimer's. So I'm like, I need to go the natural route. And I tried a bunch of different products. And you're right. I believe that they really didn't work. But then I found a product and I've been using it for about a year, but I've noticed recently that it's starting to give me rashes again underneath my arm. Now, I don't sweat nearly as much as I used to. Well, that's not true. I'm perimenopause. So I'm sweating, but I'm sweating all over my body, not just in like my pits. So I don't have that. That's not my problem anymore. I got other things. But I love what you're saying about this concept around we assume that, we're going to stop the sweat. But in some ways, I kind of want to stop the sweat, right? I mean, we don't want pit stains in, our clothes. So what do you recommend and how do we get through it? And why are all these natural products still, they don't really smell that great. And you do have like, this smell that comes out. Now I don't, but years ago, yeah, heck, it was like,
Right.
ooh, what is that? Oh, it's me.
Well, so two things. One, sweat actually doesn't stink. It's the bacteria that feeds on sweat that stinks.
That
So in
makes me feel
order,
that makes me feel really good. I
so
got a lot of bacteria
well,
underneath it.
bacteria love dark, damp, humid places. And
Mhm.
God, that's a good place for bacteria to be underneath your pits. Dark,
Mhm.
damp, and humid.
Mm.
So you want to look for ingredients like zinc and magnesium that help neutralize the bacteria and neutralize the odor. So guess what? They have nothing to breed on. They can't multiply and replicate. So that's going to help to one, reduce the odor, but two, you want to look for absorbing ingredients to help mitigate the sweat. We're not stopping the sweat, we're just absorbing the sweat so you're dry. You're going to look for arrowroot powder. You're going to look for clays, but mostly arrowroot powder or tapioca powder. Do try to steer away from baking soda because that is what causes the irritation and the redness and the rashiness that happens underneath the armpit because it increases your pH levels underneath underneath the armpit. The reason that we're increasing that pH is because we're trying to kill that bacteria, so bacteria can't live. However, you're wrecking the microbiome, which you've heard me say microbiome a couple of times. We want to feed our microbiome. We want to give it probiotics to be able to fight off bad bacteria. Just like we have gut health, we have healthy skin microbiome. So again, stay away from baking soda. Look for zinc, look for magnesium, look for arrowroot powder, look for products that have probiotics in them because that's going to help to increase the healthy bacteria that live on your skin that help
Super
to increase
interesting.
your healthy microbiome.
It really is interesting. And I also heard that when you are switching over from, the over the counter, the ones that you're seeing in the stores, and you're switching to an all natural, you have to give it, about 30 days of this. And then and I did this when I switched over to this last time. And it really, I noticed that I don't smell, like I don't smell anymore, but I am getting this, kind of rashy feel. So you actually have a product that is a deodorant,
Yep.
and it's one that you highly recommend. And is it because you have all those great ingredients and you're not causing the rash and all that?
Correct. And the reason why I had to create clean, it's called cool as a cucumber. And the reason I had to create cool as a cucumber is because I actually am not in perimenopause. I am in menopause. I had my ovaries removed a few years ago. So I started becoming stinky and sweaty all of a sudden after my ovaries removed. Thank you, hot flashes. And I thought, God, Kara, you're smart. You know how to formulate. We have got to make a natural deodorant that works. So I hit the books, hit the research, played around for a long time. And I realized that if I combined certain things at certain percentages, that they worked and they didn't wreck your microbiome. They didn't cause rashiness and they actually neutralized the odor and helped absorb the moisture. And here's the best part: I made my stinky, sweaty husband use them. And from a guy that will use an aluminum based deodorant and antiperspirant, he loved cool as a cucumber and he uses it today. And he says, God, how come I don't stink? And I'm like, it's magic.
Oh
But,
God, I love that.
but
That is
yep,
so good. But as we're, this is important because I'm writing down all these products. How do I simplify my beauty
yep.
routine? What can I do? What are there base products that, like, hey, just use these and you're going to get the results, and the rest is just all like,
It's all
it's the
fluff, right?
sprinkles on the top.
You got it. So, three great products that you really just need: a good cleanser, one that doesn't strip your skin and doesn't make your skin feel tight and dry after using it. Number one. Number 2, you want a good hydrating facial mist. A lot of women think that a toner is just like you don't really need it if you skip it. Well, actually, your skin absorbs your moisturizers and serums way better when your skin is hydrated. Again, we want our skin
Mhm.
cells looking like grapes, not
The
little
raisins.
raisins, right? These
Totally.
little raisins. So we want to mist our skin with this plump, hydrating facial mist. And then you want to lock it all in with a moisturizer. So I kind of take it one step further because I know women love serums because serums are where the magic happens. You've got these teeny little molecules full of all these nutrient rich antioxidants that feed your skin. Well, I created Glow Getter because I needed a moisturizer and a serum in one product because I wanted a simple 3-step routine giving you exactly what your skin needs for this youthful glow. So cleanser, facial mist, and a good moisturizer. And if you can find a moisturizer that has a serum in it, you've done double duty with 3 products.
And can you use a lot of times we have night cream, day cream, midday cream, all these creams. Can you use this same product in the morning and night?
Morning and night. These 3, I call them the simplified to glow set.
So good.
And these 3 products, it's all you really need. And the cool thing is Clean Slate doubles as your overnight moisturizer. So you're literally going to use it to cleanse with. And then you're going to mist on your facial mist, which is phytotonic, slather on your Glow Getter. And at night, you're going to take just a teeny bit of that and press it in. I
Yes.
always say you're going to glaze up like a donut, and that's what prevents your transepidermal water loss, which is just a fancy way of saying losing hydration. And we all want to make sure that hydration stays in your skin so it's plump and beautiful.
We love
You
that.
have that youthful glow.
Kara, this has been so awesome. How can people
Aw. That's
deodorant?
right.
How
That's
can
right.
they do it?
All the good things. Go to botanicals.com. And actually, we are running our holiday magic sale between now and November 30th, where you're going to get 20% off. Plus, I have a special new product. It's a lip and cheek color in one that you're going to get free with an $80 purchase. So run, ladies, run.
That is so great. Thank you again for all of this incredible information. And for those that are hungry for a little bit more, go over to Facebook and get into the Relaunch Effect. I give products that I love once a week. Tell it like it is Tuesday. I give tips on business. That's the place that you can hear more about this. I'm going to be recommending your product. I will use it, then recommend it, and look forward to, I love new things too. So I will definitely be doing that as well. Next week, I have someone that we're going to go deep into. How about this? Ever wonder what goes on when you're sleeping and the dreams, or if you don't have dreams? Well, next week, we're going to hear all about that, hear about mind, body, soul, making sure that we're elevating ourselves. So do not miss it. And again, if you're loving what you're hearing, make sure you are hitting that follow, hit that subscribe. Let us know that you are 5-star type of reviews on this show. So thanks again, everyone. Live now, love now, relaunch now. Take care until next week. You've just heard another episode of the Relaunch Podcast. If something shared in this episode resonated with you, please head over to iTunes right now and leave us a 5-star review. And share this episode with others to inspire them to take the small steps that lead to a life full of purpose and possibility. And remember, you can have immediate access to the show notes and any giveaways at therelaunchco.com/podcast. Until next week, now is your time to relaunch your transition into a transformation.